Well, hello friends. It's time for vlog número dos. That's number 2 in Spanish. This is gonna be a little different than my last Transformation Tuesday picture. A lot of like women and young girls actually like DM'd me on Instagram and emailed me and basically just said that after seeing like my posts and like after following me and stuff, and they see like what I went through and you know how I got myself to the point where I am now, that it's like a big motivation and a big inspiration for them. And I got a lot more like feedback like that from people than I thought or even that I wanted. I didn't post it for that. I honestly was just like, oh, it's Tuesday, Transformation Tuesday time. But yeah, so I was like kind of blown away. It really means a lot to me because eating disorders, not that they hold a special place in my heart, but like I did struggle with it, and you know, I do understand, and it will always be a part of me. So, you know, it's something that like if I can kind of talk about and help someone else who's struggling, that's really all I want to do. I want to be able to be someone's motivation. I want to be able to help people, and just simply by doing and being me, you know? So, alright, let's get this started.
If I ever said I'm never scared, just know I mean it.
So I struggled with anorexia for about 4 years. I was always kind of very self-conscious and never had any confidence in myself. I remember it totally beginning in 10th grade. I went to public school like my entire life, and then for high school, I actually left like my middle school after 8th grade and went to an all-girls Catholic high school. And I remember sitting in my gym class in 10th grade with my best friend, and she used to be a gymnast, so she kind of had that like body, very like muscular, and she always complained about it. She hated her legs being too big and her legs being too muscular and blah blah blah, all of that. Just typical, you know, girl stuff, I guess. But I know that I was always comparing myself to her. So we were just talking, and she mentioned she wanted to lose 10 pounds. So I was like, okay. Well, I mean, like, if she wants to lose 10 pounds, then what the hell am I doing sitting around not losing 10 pounds? Like, she looks phenomenal, so obviously I have to too. So that kind of like put that idea in my head. And I'm the type of person that when I do get an idea in my head, I act on it. And whether it's something that I want to accomplish, like a goal, or just something like that I maybe want, like a material item, like I work hard and I go and I get it. And I don't just go get it to get it and then move on to the next thing. Like I work and I do all I can to get there and make sure that like me getting there is worth it. And that like, you know, I put my all into it, which is a good thing. But it can definitely kind of be a curse also. So that happened, and then I remember my mom, I had like a regular physical at my pediatrician, and you know, he took your height and your weight and all that stuff, and he told me my weight, and I probably haven't gotten much taller since then. So if I was like 5'4" or 5'5", then like that's how tall I was. And I remember him telling me that I was 119 pounds, which is completely normal for that height, especially like where I was. You know, I also was swimming competitively, and I was active, like going to the gym and stuff. So like I was fine. I was normal. There was no reason for me to lose weight. But that number and me already having the idea of wanting to lose weight, like, in my head, kind of got, like, my wheels turning. So my first, like, attempt at losing weight, I just cut out, like, all snacks from my day. I would just eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No snacks, at lunch in school, or no ice cream after dinner, or anything like that. Like, it was strictly 3 meals a day. And then those meals kind of got smaller. I would also get to school earlier, like 10 minutes earlier than, like, I had to. And I would go to my locker, get all my stuff ready, bring my bag, and put it in my homeroom, which is, like, where they take attendance before first period. And then we had this, like, back staircase in my school that went from the basement all the way to the 3rd floor. And I would put my bags down, and then with, like, the 10 minutes I had, I would run stairs before class. I would start at the basement and go all the way to the 3rd floor and back down for, like, 10 minutes until the bell rang, and then I went to class. I also did leg lifts underneath my desk. I guess I thought I was being sly about it, but, I mean, if you see someone, like, lifting up their legs and staring at the clock on the wall, like, I thought I had it all figured out, but I clearly did not. So I was getting, like, rapidly worse. And then my parents obviously noticed, took me to my doctor, who weighed me, and it was like, you need to bring her to the hospital and have all her vital signs taken. She's lost, like, considerable amount of weight since the last time I saw her, which was probably, like, 2 months, ago. So it was a Saturday morning. My mom brought me to the hospital. I actually had, like, a show that I was in for school that night, and it's, like, a big deal. It's, like, 2 teams, and you find out on Saturdays, like, who wins. So obviously, like, I want my team to win. I worked so hard for it and everything, and I was honestly just pissed. I was like, Mom, I need to go to school. We need to, like, hurry this up. I don't have time for this right now. And she was like, Courtney, like, stop. Like, we need to do this for you. And so we did. I went to the hospital. I was waiting around for my readings from, like, to come back, and for the nurse to tell me that I could just go home. But she came back, and she just kind of looked at my mom and I, and she was just like, you can't leave. You're too much of a risk. You have to stay. We have to watch you overnight. And at that time, like, you think that, like, maybe it would, like, click to me, like, wow, what did I do? But no. My thoughts were, what? Like, I have something to do tonight. Like, I have to leave. I can't stay here. And when I realized that, like, that wasn't an option, that I was basically, like, staying there, I was like, what is everyone going to think about me? What is everyone going to say? Everyone's going to talk about me. Everyone's going to judge me. You know, like, I can't deal with this. So I ended up staying in that hospital, and their eating disorder program for 10 days taught me was that it's not just to gain weight. His goal is not just to make me gain weight, because everyone knows, and if you don't, an eating disorder is a mental disorder, 110%. Yes, it affects you physically, but it's a mental disorder. You have to change your mentality. So with him, we kind of, like, worked towards a goal each time. Like, I was working towards, like, pushing myself and, like, becoming a senior in my school. Like, it's a big deal. I wanted to go off to college. I wanted to, like, get rid of this and move on. And, like, I worked towards that. I kept that in mind about how important school is to me. And I did it. I felt amazing the time senior year came around. I thought that I was 100% free from my eating disorder, that I would never experience that again. I was going out, I was partying, I was drinking, I was eating normal, regular foods, pizza, you know, going out for ice cream with my friends, whatever. I was having, like, and I was having fun doing it. I wasn't, like, scared or anything. And then I felt awesome. By the time the end of that summer came, before college, I stopped seeing him because I was going to college, and I was like, all right, well, I'm not like continuing this when I'm in school and college. Like, that's embarrassing. I don't want anyone to know. Like, duh. So I stopped, and then college started. Still comparing myself to everyone. I always wanted to be that tall, skinny, like naturally lean girl. And that's just not me. But that's like always like the goal that I wanted. You know, my like dream body, I guess you could say. So I guess with all the freedom that came with college, I started to lose more weight. And at first it was okay. I felt better about myself. I was going out obviously on the weekends, and you know, I felt better. I felt a little bit more confident, you know, seeing the number goes down because I would use the scale at the gym. And then it got pretty bad pretty quickly too. Every single morning for about 2 hours, and I would wear one of those heart like monitor things or whatever to tell you how many calories you burn, and I wouldn't be satisfied, and I wouldn't leave until it said like at least 800, so that by like the time I got back to my building and walked, and like I always would take the stairs, so by the time I did all that, it was like around like 1,000 a day. And I wasn't eating. I would only really eat dinner because my roommates would be going to dinner, and I just felt awkward, and I didn't want them to like talk about me and be like, well, why isn't she coming to dinner? So I went. I did spiral out of control, and it was the darkest, most depressing, like loneliest time of my entire life. I just felt so worthless, and I don't know. I was like, I was always alone with just like my thoughts, and they were literally killing me from like the inside out. And it's still to this day like the scariest point of my entire life. Yeah. You know, God creates everyone differently and in their own way, and everyone has, you know, that thing about them that makes them them. And I finally just accepted the fact that my thing was being anorexic. I was just done. I didn't want to try anymore. I tried in the past, and I was trying then, and just nothing was working, nothing was clicking. I accepted the fact that I was always just going to be this miserable, and that I was always just going to hate myself. Okay, getting a little emotional. And I don't really get emotional. So, thought process was more of like, what's the difference if I'm eating 500 calories worth of vegetables or 500 calories worth of ice cream a day? It's 500 calories, and my body is going to take those 500 calories, no matter where they come from, and just use them for energy, because that's like what your body does. And that's actually the day that I made my Instagram. That was the day Courtney's Fitstagram was born. Seriously though. So what I did was, basically, I would be making my own meals, and every time I would try and pick like one of my fear foods, you know, just something that like I was not eating at all because I was scared it would make me fat or something. And I remember one time I made my own Chipotle bowl because I was like scared of rice. And, you know, I put everything in it, the chicken and the tomatoes and salsa or whatever and lettuce. and all that good stuff. And what I would basically do is just make it and make it look pretty, because I would obviously Instagram it. And then I would sit down, take the picture of it, and as I was like eating it, I would like, just slowly edit the picture, and it really helped me because it made eating fun, and it didn't make eating seem like a chore. Kind of like focus and appreciate the food for like what it was, and I had like a good fun time doing it, like creating my own meals and figuring out like what I wanted to eat. And I would do that, and I would make that bowl like a couple times a week. And eventually, like, rice was no longer a fear food. I did it with like peanut butter because I was so scared of that. I did it with avocado. I did it with like cheese. And I would just make things with them. And eventually the foods were not so scary anymore. Flexible dieting, macros, going to the gym is not what helped me recover, because I knew that I would be too obsessed with numbers, and if I was supposed to eat like 150 carbs a day or something, I would be too scared of it. I wouldn't be able to reach that number because I wouldn't want to eat the carbs. So I had to like help myself first, and I did. After researching all of that, because like I am kind of like a little nerd, and I had a great time doing it, it has become my complete passion. I love it, and I'm so happy that I used like my personality for like putting everything I want into like something to good. I wanted to get out of my eating disorder, and I did finally put everything that I had in me into it. It's a great feeling to finally be comfortable with who I am. I can like say confidently that like I love who I am. I've come so far from always hating myself, and I don't know if you can tell, but I'm literally starting to tear up. But I was always my own worst enemy, and finally like getting over that, and finally seeing the light, and seeing that I am worth something, and that I have so much potential. Like, it's a great feeling, and it's something that I never want to lose. I don't think I ever will lose it. I remember in my early stages of like that second recovery where I saw this shirt, and it's actually, you're seeing it that it says beauty on it, but it actually it's like written backwards, so if you saw it in person it would be backwards, but when you look in the mirror it's like it's read straight forward, like it says beauty. So every time you wear it and every time you see it and look in the mirror, it says it to you. And I was like, I'm gonna wear this and I'm gonna be proud of it, because I am beautiful, I am strong, I am, all of these things that I always not even took for granted, but like I just didn't appreciate, and I didn't see it myself. So that's, I don't know, I guess like what you need to do and what you need to take away from this is like not what I was doing when I was anorexic, not, my like anorexic habits and tendencies. Those don't matter. What matters now, and why I'm making this video, is that I faced so many ups and downs, so many lows, the lowest of the lows, and I felt stuck. I didn't think I was ever going to get out of it, but I did. And if you are feeling so low and so stuck and so lost, like, do not give up and succumb to the life of an eating disorder. But I can say that I'm finally on that other side, and it's literally the greatest feeling in the world. And I'm finally comfortable with me. I love my life. What I do for me, and only for me. I don't do it because, you know, I get a couple likes on a picture, or because people tell me I look good. Like, yeah, those are bonuses and perks of it, I guess, but it's not the main reason. You have to put everything aside and just stop and do it for yourself. And who cares what anyone is going to think of you? It's hard. You have to fight those demon thoughts, but you have to do it. There's no need to feel like complete shit, to put it simply. You learn to love yourself, and that's the most important thing.